Ja, ik zit eens te kijken hoe dan.
Nou, bovenin zitten een paar knopjes, er staat de camera bij.
Oh, hier, ja.
Good morning or good afternoon for everybody. Welcome to this webinar. Thank you very much. Let me start by saying this meeting or this webinar will be recorded and will be shared later. all the businesses communication that come via social communication channels like chat, phone calls are the starting point of a internal communication process. Via whatever communication channel your customer may want to reach you, it's essential to optimize your response times and customer experience, of course. To achieve this, you need to ensure that all communication get to the right agents with the right data that they need. In this webinar, I will show you how agents, supervisors, and managers can benefit from an omnichannel approach, where one queue integrates both incoming chat and social messages, as well as phone calls within Microsoft Teams. So my name is Fabian. I'm a business developer manager at Roger 365. This webinar will be approximately 30 minutes. So for most of you right now, it's lunchtime, so I try to keep it as within the 30 minutes. If you have any questions, you can use the Q&A option or contact me later via email or send me or connect with me via LinkedIn. You can scan this QR code if you like to connect with me via LinkedIn. So hope you're ready. So here we go. So more and more businesses understand that providing better customer experience is essential, and many of those organizations would like to make the customer the focal point of their enterprise, right? So customer focus is a strategy that puts customer needs first. There are many business benefits. If you look up the internet or so, you can really find hundreds. But just to name a few, and I think generally accepted is that if the customer experience, is an important factor for a customer to buy a product, but also to come back to your business if they have a very good experience. This applies, by the way, for not only for the B2C scenarios, but of course also for the B2B scenarios. You also see that many organizations now become a digital company, and there's, for example, estimate that 80% of the companies that are digital and lead the customer experience outperform others right now already, and definitely in the future. At the same time, there's a big change happening within the business in general by adopting Microsoft Teams. You see that more and more organizations are using Microsoft Teams to use as, let's say, their digital platform or their platform for communications. This allows another trend, let's say, that's happening right now is hybrid working. An interesting fact is that 94% of the employees prefer to make the decisions where they work. If it's at home, at Starbucks, or whatever they like, this has become more and more popular. But at the same time, giving organizations also new challenges. So becoming a, let's say, so making the customer the focal point of your organization and providing the tools your staff needs in Microsoft Teams to get to this digital business. So enabling hybrid working and keeping the customer focus. That's very, very important nowadays. That's really what's happening. But there's, getting to that organization, there are some answers or some questions you need to answer. So let's zoom in a little bit on what to do as a business to get to this point. First of all, many businesses recognize that doing business is more than just picking up a phone, right? So the customer, your customer, and again, if it's a B2B or B2C scenario, that doesn't matter anymore. But your customer is really becoming an omnichannel customer these last years. Omnichannel means that communication that you, let's say, as a user or a customer allows communication over different channels. And most of the time, the customer chooses those channels themselves. So with other words, if I need somebody to talk to somebody directly, I probably call the company, right? Call the business. But if it can wait, or if it has a different type of challenge, you can also think about WhatsApp integration, right? So I'm sending a WhatsApp message to the airline for latest updates on my luggage, for example, and sometimes in web chat, or even Facebook Messenger or Twitter or SMS. So it really depends on the scenario that and the business type you're in is what how your customer will contact you. And if you're, for example, in education sector, it's of course very interesting that you see that when you deal with students a lot, that almost by default the students will not call anymore. They really would like to have for example, WhatsApp integration to get the information they need, because the sooner they call, they will sort of freeze nowadays. So it's becoming more and more an omnichannel approach, and answering a phone call is just not enough. So you should find a solution that can interact with your customers in such a way that customers can choose how they connect with you without you losing control over it. So that's why you must look at a solution, or look at an approach that you merge all your communication channels into Microsoft Teams. So really start seeing Microsoft Teams as a platform, not only a collaboration platform that you know of, right, for chatting with your colleagues, sharing documents, but also see it as a communication client for external communication. So you must make Teams, let's say, the single client, the only client that your organization needs, not only for internal collaboration, but also for external collaboration. And on top of that, you see there's a lot of challenges as well. But how do you work with your customer data? Where is the data? How can you use this? So it makes a lot of sense that you integrate this communication into your CRM or ERP, or if you're in the recruitment, ATS system, and make sure that the business process, or that this communication becomes part of the business process. For example, giving the agents, so the people that answer the phone call or the chats or whatever, the possibility to see the 360-degree customer view, so they know who they're chatting with, or they know who they're talking with. Or, for example, update timelines automatically back into the CRM, or create or update tickets or sales type of scenarios. If you do that, you can also you're able to create reporting to get insights. Because getting insights, it becomes more and more important nowadays. But also, what's also important is that there are a lot of changes happening all the time about what data do I want to see as an organization, what must I see, what I'm not allowed to see, for example, based on the compliance and regulations. So you need to have a way of flexibility to create reports that you need at that moment for the reason that you need it. And of course, when we talk about compliance and regulations, there needs to be everything has to be seamlessly be integrated into your current security infrastructure, like your Azure environment, like your Teams environment. So this presentation, or this presentation is all about the 3 crucial integrations. So if you ask me, basically, sorry about that. These 3 are the first one you have to tackle. So you need to get your omnichannel merged into your Teams platform, and use your CRM, ERP, or other, let's say, customer relationship system as a single point of truth. If you don't merge those, or if you don't solve those 3, this makes no sense to have reports because you don't have any insights. You don't have the data that you need. So basically, the first step is integrating Omnichannel into Teams using customer data that is centralized in your CRM. So with Roger 365, we built a software service platform that merges all the communication channels into Microsoft Teams and fulfill the requirements that I previously mentioned. With this seamless integration of social messaging channels like WhatsApp, SMS, Facebook Messenger, and web chat, and it allows also to upgrade your current Teams calling infrastructure into a true contact center platform. It has the possibility to integrate the communication with your CRM platform or ATS or ERP platform like Dynamics, Salesforce, HubSpot, Autotask, or Zoho, or whatever. And it provides the possibility, if you want to take it to the next level, to trigger other applications using our APIs. All communications, also all touch points, so social messaging or calls, and features are connected with a flow engine that's, let's say, in the middle. And that's where you can configure what's going to happen with a phone call or with web chat, or for that matter. So zooming in a little bit on this is, so this is, Microsoft Teams environment. And Roger 365 adds agent, supervisor, and reporting functionality into Microsoft Teams. And I think it's important to mention that with Roger 365 is Microsoft Contact Center certified based on the Extend model. So it doesn't matter if you use Operator Connect, calling plans, SIP trunks, or something else. Basically, Roger 365 is a native Teams app that extends functionality within Microsoft Teams. So the media, so the phone call, let's say, stays where it is. And it means it gives a lot of benefits, that it's quick and easy to deploy, and it's really reliable as well. So with the flow engine that you see here in the middle, you can configure how an incoming call or a social message like a WhatsApp is handled. Think here about IVR, skill-based routing, priority customer check, or all sorts of other scenarios. So what happens, a call comes in, right? Or a WhatsApp comes in, a message comes in, and the flow engine starts and, for example, looks up data from the central CRM. And over here I show Dynamics, Top Desk, Salesforce, but it can be literally any type of CRM. So the agent knows who is calling or who is chatting with, but there's also possibilities to add other actions within this flow or from the agent perspective. Think about adding chatbot technology. So if someone sends if you start a web chat, for example, the chatbot can then answer the first questions, the frequently asked questions, and only when necessary, this conversation can be routed to an agent. So the agent can only answer, let's say, the more complex questions and is not bothered by all those simple questions. But you can also push back information, so back into, let's say, Salesforce or Dynamics. Think about, updating timelines or creating a new ticket. So truly, the integration or making, let's say, Microsoft Teams really the single client within your organization that you need for all your communication. The supervisor is used for is a specific role within Roger 365 or actually within Azure. And it can be used to monitor one or multiple queues, see what the agents are doing, and in case there is an active phone call, for example, join a call or do whisper functionality. And there's reporting available, but you can also extract the data and build your own reports based on the data that we provide. And of course, it's very interesting because it gives you a lot of flexibility, but at the same time, it gives you the opportunity to combine this data with other data, getting a really good overview, a good insights on how you perform. So let's see this Roger 365 contact center in Teams in action. Before I start this, I'd just like to explain the scenario a little bit. So what you're going to see in a second is that at the left side you see a phone, and at the right side you see the Microsoft Teams environment with the Roger 365 app. And in my demo, I will show I say that a WhatsApp message is received, how that's handled by the agent within Teams. And while this agent is handling the WhatsApp message, a phone call comes in. And in this case, the phone call has a higher priority for the agent than the WhatsApp message. So the WhatsApp message will be paused. And the agent will pick up the phone and will handle the call first. And after that, he will go back to the WhatsApp communication again to finish that communication. So let's start. And before the video runs, just a quick introduction or explanation of what you're going to see here. So as said, at the left side, it's my phone. At the right side, it's the Roger 365 Teams app. And you see at the top, agent supervisor and reporting. And based on the role that you have as a user, you have access to agent supervisor or reporting, or all three or two of them. At the left, you see invoice queue and the chat queue. So if a phone call comes in, it gets in the voice queue. If a social message like a web chat, WhatsApp, or SMS comes in, it gets into the chat queue. Once the agent accepts the call or accepts the chat, it gets into the interaction, and the conversation can be started. And depending, of course, on if it's a phone call or a social message, there is some other data shown. But what Roger 365 really does is making it possible for the agent to stay within Teams, but still can perform all the actions. And how do we do this? Using the power frame. So we can identify who is calling, and based on that, we can trigger what we call a power frame, and that's actually an application that you can develop yourself as a customer or as a reseller, and that is showing all information that the agent need for that particular scenario. And it's not only showing information, but you can also create buttons or other apps to trigger other processes as well. So let me start this video, and you will see that WhatsApp message is sent. And this message gets into the chat queue. Here it is. Because of the flow, there's auto reply in my case, so there's a schedule and things like that. As an agent, I accept this message, and I can start typing back. So let me pause it again. So you can see here, this is the question where the message was sent. This was the auto reply. And you see that we recognize who this person is and show a customer card, and in this case, open tickets of this person. But again, this is free to fill in and to do anything you want with it. So the agents can now chat back using this text bar over here and send the message back. So let's go back and forward. And now you see there's a phone call coming in. So because this phone call cuts in. Okay, interesting. Let me start this again. Because this phone call gets in 2 seconds, the agent wants to pick up this phone call. So by doing, let's say, moving back the chat into the interaction panel, his status will change to ready and will get the phone call automatically. And you now see that this call is given to the agent, and again the power frame is triggered. And this power frame in this case, shows different information just to give you an idea on the possibility that you can even choose what data you see. If there's a social message or a phone call coming in, you can still see different type of information and perform different type of actions. So the agent picks up the call, or in this case, the call is not picked up at all, so it stays in the queue. So you see here the supervisor capabilities. There you have the overview on which social messages are in the queue, but also which calls are in the queue. You can join the call. You can see what the agents are doing. You can even change the status of an agent from busy to ready if you like. Join, as said, Whisper. So going back to this agent again, the phone call is finished. The agent picks up the chat again from the interaction panel and continues chatting back. Only in this case, the customer that receives now the WhatsApp message already found the answer. So it's not the best support that this customer got from this business. But now the agent can close the chat and, for example, click on this green button to accept the next chat, or do a right click and pick from queue. And then in that way, continue with this with another person for a chat. So the app is really merging both social messaging, phone calls, everything in the same platform, Microsoft Teams. So basically, what you're doing is you enable omnichannel communication into Microsoft Teams. Because it runs in Teams, you can run it on your desktop, on your anywhere you want, right? So the hybrid working scenarios can be fulfilled. At the same time, with the Flow engine, you can really get all type of different scenarios. With the integrations with the CRM or with the APIs, you can accelerate the business process and workflows. Now, because all communications go over the same platform, land in the same type of client, you can also get insights, right? You don't have any silo IT challenges anymore, no shadow IT challenges, which is actually more scary if you have shadow IT challenges. And you see that a lot with WhatsApp communication, because a lot of people treat WhatsApp as a personal communication, but actually it's a business type of communication in this case. So merging all those channels into Teams gives you as a business the data to take care of it and to get insights, to learn also from stuff. And in that way, also you can limit your compliance and operational risk, right? It's you kill two birds with one stone in that way. The good news is that you can try it out yourself. If you go to the website and there's at the top there's a button Get Started, and it then starts your 2-week trial for free. You can also scan this QR code. There's a documentation site available, which there's a link on the Getting Started site, explaining you step by step how to integrate and what to do, how to enroll Project 365 and get your 2 weeks for free. And again, the documentation site doc.project365.io gives you a lot of information and all sorts of interesting configurations and features that are available. Having said that, 25 minutes. So that means we have a couple of minutes left. So first of all, I'd like to, of course, thank you for your attention. And I will answer 1 or 2 questions just for, but again, if you need more information, you can always reach out to me directly using my email address or scan the QR code. Or go to the website and fill in the contact form, and I will be gladly to help you out. Let me just check which questions I received. So here's a question: how much time does implementation take? So of course, it depends on how complex you want to make it, but I can say that within let's say 1 hour or so, you can do the enrollment of Roger 365 and you can start your 2-week free trial. There are many options, so I would say always keep it simple in the beginning. Add, for example, Teams calling and add a web chat connection and try it out. Or if you have WhatsApp for Business, you can also connect WhatsApp for Business and try it out yourself. But within 1 or 2 hours, you should be ready to try out Roger 365. Another question I see here is, in what regions is the solution available globally? So we sell Roger 365 via local distributors or resellers. We have around, let's say, 25 resellers covering the globe. So if you're in the US or if you in Australia, West Europe, or wherever you are in Latin America, it's always possible to start a trial, and we have always a local reseller that can support you with this trial or help you with the sales process when needed. By the way, if you are a reseller, potential reseller, you're in this call, and you want to resell Roger 365, let me know as well. I'd love to get in touch with you to see what opportunities we can achieve. And the last question I have here: is there a trial subscription available? The answer is yes. So as I mentioned, you can go to the website, click Getting Started, and then you have a 2 weeks free trial. If you're interested after that to purchase Roger 365, or you want to know more about options and features, again, contact us, and we're happy to help you or bring you in contact with one of the local resellers, and they can support you. So once again, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. I know for many of you it's almost lunchtime, so thank you again, and take care.